Hey guys, it's Tessa. So, today, I've talked about this a little bit, but today we are working on my first draft of the Autumn Stays pattern, sewing pattern. And it is, as the title mentions, a pair of stays. I believe I mentioned in one of my other videos this was a pending project, and I wasn't exactly sure if I was going to make a video on this one or not. Essentially, I plan on making two of these. This one is supposed to be my mock-up, essentially, just to kind of see if I jive with the pattern. The other problem I was having at the time as well was, one, I don't have proper interfacing, so I'm using cotton batting for, what's it called? Quilts, because that's all I have, and I'm trying to get through my stuff that I have instead of having to buy new stuff every time I need it. So all the pieces have been cut for this. It is going to be two-sided and it's hopefully going to be reversible. I've also bought a couple of items I needed as well, which I guess maybe I shouldn't have because I could have used what I have here, but it's too late now, so it's whatever. But the first thing I bought, I don't have it on my desk, hold on, because I literally have no interfacing left, like no stabilizing interface. So I bought Heat and Bond hem. So this is typically tape that you add to the bottom of pant hems to like keep them straight. Essentially what I'm going to do is add this to the button, or not button band, the corset piece. I literally can't think of words lately. So I'm gonna put this on the same section as where the button, why do I keep calling the buttonholes? Where the corset eyelets are gonna go. Grommets, there we go. Where the corset grommets are gonna go, this is what I'm gonna put there as well to hopefully reinforce all the holes. Because of the grommets I bought, I'm gonna have to cut the fabric to get the grommet in there. So hopefully by having this Heat and Bond on it will help, or will help stop it from fraying and damaging over time. That, or if I start noticing fraying around the grommets of like the holes stretching out or something, I can take some embroidery thread and just stitch around it. That way it'll look like hand sewn eyelets, but instead it'll just be hand sewn to hopefully prevent that from fraying any further. So I bought that. I bought grommets. I bought a grommet tool. I don't know if it's gonna work because I owned one previously and it didn't fucking work ever. So hopefully this one will work. Hopefully I do it correctly. I also bought grommets. They are away currently, but I bought these bronze looking ones. Not bronze. It's the like metal that looks like gold but isn't gold, and it's kind of like a bronze gold combination. I don't know how else to describe it. Anyway, I thought it would look the best with the options I had there and the two fabrics I have. So the first fabric is the acorn fabric. If you remember that episode of Chaos, the acorn fabric. And then my outer fabric, quote unquote, since again this is hopefully going to be reversible, is this standard green 100% cotton fabric. Although to me this really feels like broadcloth, and I really don't want it to be broadcloth. It could be, honestly, because I don't remember checking it when I bought it. But essentially, that's the plan here. The only grommets they had there, color-wise, were either the ones I bought, or, lovely enough, silver grommets. And I didn't want that. No. So I bought the other ones that I mentioned. And I think I also bought more fabric. I wanted to make sure that I had enough fabric for the bias around this entire piece, and I didn't have a lot of fabric that matched like similarly with either of these fabrics that I'm using. So I bought this fabric. I bought whatever they had left on the bolt, which was, this lady gave me a deal and I don't think she realized it, but she incorrectly measured the yardage, so I only paid for a yard and 2/3, but I think really it was 2 yards and 1/3, but I was not going to correct her, so I didn't. But essentially it's just this like brown leaf pattern. I'm not sure it'll really show up too much when I'm even doing the binding. Plan to keep it pretty thin, but comparatively to the Acorn fabric. Doesn't look bad. And then it's just a nice accent on the green fabric. I don't think it looks bad there either. So it should be useful for that purpose. And then I should have a bunch of it left over, which again, maybe I shouldn't have bought the entire thing that was left in the bulk, but there really wasn't much. So I felt kind of bad not buying the rest of it. So I bought the rest of it. I'll likely have enough, honestly, for potentially either another pair of stays or just, I don't know. I might use it to make a new project bag potentially. I don't really know. But that's where we're at currently. I've had these pieces cut for roughly 2 months, month or so. I don't really remember. I'm trying to do a little bit more sewing this year just because I do like sewing as much as I don't sound like I like sewing. I like sewing when my machine isn't yelling at me, okay? And I feel like all of you sewing gals and guys can agree with me here that sewing is so much fun when your machine isn't yelling at you, right? Mine only yells at me because my tension is wrong somewhere and I can't figure out why. Honestly, I just need to talk to one of my sewing friends and they should be able to tell me. But essentially, every time I use my sewing machine, I have to rethread it and redo the bobbin like 4 or 5 times before it's finally like, hey, you did it right, woohoo, here you go. And then even then, after a little bit, it'll get mad at me again and I'll have to rethread the whole thing again. I think I did something wrong to it or something. Honestly, I really don't know. Anyway, fucking rambling my ass off over here. That's where we're at with this. I'm hopefully gonna have it finished probably the end of this coming month. I don't know. I don't really want to deal with getting my sewing machine out anytime soon. So that's where we're at. I will check in once we are at the sewing everything together phase, or I've decided to do something else. I forgot to mention as well, these stays do require boning. I do not have the boning. Don't have long enough pieces of boning. I was going to use heavy duty zip ties from Home Depot like all the other folks who do. I don't want to buy more zip ties. I have like a 30 pack or 40 pack of 14-inch ones and I need like 22-inch ones for the longer pieces of boning. So instead I'm going to use cord. I'm going to use cotton cord, which was not standardized, but often used in the Victorian-ish era when we still had like normal corsetry. So I'm going to use that and see just if that kind of works for me. Really, all the boning's going to do is stabilize the fabric so that it's not pivoting or pulling too hard. And so by using cording, it's essentially the same thing as boning, where it's inserting something in place to resist against the curving and pulling. Anyway, see you soon. New hair. I think it looks cute. It's official. My husband and I are going to this, we think, decently fancy like Italian place for Valentine's Day. So I need to work on and finish the stays. Because wouldn't the acorns be so cute with like a black dress? Wouldn't that be so cute? I think it would be really cute. Anyway, so the plan. All right. I decided, I think I talked about how I wanted to do cording instead of boning. I'm working on that. It should be done by tomorrow, probably, or in the next couple days. I also bought, like I mentioned, the heat bond stuff. I need to figure out how this works. Like, if I need to fold it over, which I assume I do, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't even probably need to use this. I might just use it anyway, though. I don't really know yet. Anyway, not the point. Point is, we now have a deadline. I'd like to have this completed, ideally, by Sunday of this coming week. It's currently the 1st of February, so that coming Sunday would be what, the 8th? Yeah, so I think that would be my goal, is have it finished by the 8th, or at least mostly finished by the 8th, so that by that point I can like easily assess what I have left. Yeah, that's the plan. Okay, I just wanted to check in, let y'all know, so we're all on the same page here. Alright, so I thought I was filming this entire time, but I not only sewed all the pieces together for the stays, I've also started sewing the boning channels. I think I mentioned this in my earlier clip. I'm going to be using cording instead of bones because I just don't have any bones at the moment. In the other version I plan on making, I'm going to use normal boning so I can kind of see the difference between the two, and see which one I really like or don't like or whatever. I'm not very far, but this whole thing, to pin this all so it just stays together, all my pins. All of them except for like 2 or 3. I also added that little heat bond stuff I was talking about just to the portion of the panel that will have the grommets. I don't know why I could not think of that word earlier. And then the other, only other modification I'm really making is for all the boning channels, I'm sewing an additional seam along the middle of them. Since I am using cording instead of the 1/2 inch boning, I'm just gonna insert 2 rows of cording there instead. There is a diagonal bone, which is 2 of the normal 1/2 inch boning channels together, so it's like an inch, inch and a half. I'm just gonna cut that into 4 and so on. You'll get it. But that's where we're at, and I just keep on rolling it. But I'm working on that currently. I'm probably gonna have this done today. My sewing machine, fingers crossed, is being really nice to me today for once, so I'm actually having a decent time getting through all of this. But pretty much once I put in the boning, or once I finish doing the boning channels, I put in the boning, I trim any excess fabric away, and I do the binding. And it should be done at that point, besides grommets, but that's something I'm just gonna do and take time to do, but that'll be part of this video still. Alright, so here is the final outfit. This is just a dress I have. It's decently longish. So I'm thinking about wearing this tomorrow for Valentine's Day. I don't really know. I have a second outfit that I might wear as well. I don't know yet though. I haven't really decided. But let me know what you think. Again, I honestly, I don't remember actually if I mentioned it in this video, but I honestly think I can buy the standard size version of this pattern and probably still have it fit. Like, this is pretty loose kind of all around, and the way the straps are, they sit off the shoulder a little bit more than I'd like, but again, that could just be because this pattern is larger than it's supposed to be, or it's a little bit looser on me than it's supposed to be. So let me do a little twirl for you. Cute as shit, I know. I just ended up going to Michael's and buying some ribbon and lacing it up. It works perfectly well for me, so that's kind of nice. But that will conclude this video. This is officially, I think, part 1 or project 1 of the cottagecore vibe, tire, style, whatever the word is I'm looking for. So let me know your thoughts. I also should know, I don't remember if I talked about this or not, this pattern is extremely easy. If you want to get into like corsets / stays and you want something that's like easy to kind of comprehend and understand, this is the project. It's super easy. It's rated as a 2 out of 5, I believe, on the pattern itself. Honestly, I think this is a pretty beginner level pattern. The only thing that makes it not beginner level is like the grommets and the boning. But as you guys saw, I ended up using cording for my boning and it still works pretty well. I will likely make a second version of this, if not, again, in the other pattern sizing, and use plastic or steel boning. I haven't decided yet. Probably I'll go with steel because it's a little bit more durable than plastic and, you know, a little bit better for the world. But that will conclude this video. If you have any questions, comments, feelings below, leave them. If you want to see more from me, subscribe. And if you have more cottagecore ideas, let me know, or check out my video about cottagecore stuff that I want to make this year. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.